Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ruth Aguela. President Muhammadu Buhari has warned that any act of hooliganism hiding behind unlawful and peaceful protest will be dealt with decisively. Declaring open the 2020 Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference virtually, the President was emphatic there is no compromising the peace and stability of the country. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
I want to reiterate our government's commitment to the rights of citizens to embark on peaceful protests. However, this must be done responsibly and in accordance with the laws of the land.
President Muhammadu Buhari may have been responding to reports on plans by NSAS protesters to return to the streets for another round of protests. He commended the armed forces for their efforts at swiftly restoring law and order during what he called the large-scale criminality that ensued in the wake of the last protests in parts of the country.
Let me also use this opportunity to commend the Army for its unwavering commitment towards curtailing the activities of insurgents, armed bandits, kidnappers, cattle rustlers, and other violent criminals through ongoing exercises and operations in different parts of the country. Notably, the exercise Sahel Sanity, launched a few months back in the northwest states to rid the Katsina-Zamfara corridor of marauding bandits. I am happy to note that the commendable progress has been made towards attaining the objectives of the exercise.
The president also noted the tremendous successes achieved by troops during the ongoing Operation Fireball in the northeast, insisting that these efforts be sustained until the full restoration of peace and security. And with the establishment of the state-of-the-art Cyber Warfare Operations Center, President Buhari said the army in particular has remained alive to the changing nature of warfare, which is gradually moving into the cyber domain.
I commend the visionary leadership that has worked assiduously to emplace this vital capability that will fill an existing gap in our nation's security and defense architecture. On our part, I assure you that this administration will continue to do all within available resources to provide for your operational and welfare needs. We must strengthen our collective resolve to address those issues that will make every part of our country a safe and secure place to live and carry out our normal businesses.
The president is delighted that some of the major capabilities procured for the army will soon be inducted into the various theater of operations, as many more await shipment to the country. The conference has as its theme human capacity development in sustaining professionalism and responsiveness of the Nigerian army in the discharge of its constitutional roles. From the State House, Adam Musambo, NTA News.
The governor of Kogi State, Yahya Bello, has enjoined the youth to remain agents of positive change in the interest of all. Now, this was at a media briefing in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This media briefing, according to Governor Yahya Bello, is premised on an intelligence report that there might be another round of protest by the youth. Protest by youth under any guise, he explained, is counterproductive and inimical to the peace and development of the country.
And I passionately appeal to the great Nigerian youths not to be the harbinger of such much pain and loss to their compatriots, individual, families, and communities alike. We need to have a country to even protest for, a better one at all. Social change, like fire, must never be allowed to get out of control, or it will consume the very building it was ignited to warm in the first place. along with the occupiers.
Dialogue and the use of the ballot the governor believed are the most acceptable ways of expressing grievances. He urged the youth to mobilize themselves in a more civilized manner rather than indulging in acts that may be hijacked by hoodlums. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
With the myriad of challenges faced by Nigeria in its bid to achieve development, forging a united front to confront them is believed to be the best option for national greatness. Well, to further promote the cause of peace, the National Christian Pilgrims Commission and some youth groups are forging a common front to enlighten the public on the benefits of peaceful coexistence. Omeka Amarachuku will tell us more.
These are a coalition of ethnic youth leaders in Nigeria coming together to chart a way forward to build a partnership for peace building. As young people, they believe that time has come for National Youth Constituency to come together on their own to find lasting solutions.
This is the way to go. The way of dialogue is lengthy. We must continue to exploit the option of consultation and dialogue before hitting the street, because the lessons of the actions that followed the peaceful protest by young people during the NSAS is enough for us to learn from.
In today's world, violence are never a way of solving problems. Both locally and internationally, you will know that violence does not solve problems. If we continue on the path of violence,
All right, we apologize for the mix-up there. The House of Representatives says that any statement that does not emanate from the recognized minority leadership or majority leadership caucus does not reflect position of members and should therefore be disregarded. In a statement, Chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity, Benjamin Kalu, says comments in circulation calling for the president's impeachment credited to Representative Kingsley Chinda of the PDP does not represent even the weakest of opinion of the minority caucus of the 9th House, as he lost that opportunity having failed to secure the position of minority leader, now occupied by Undudi Elumelu. The statement stressed that the House will not be distracted and remains focused to have an interactive session with Mr. President to enable members make inputs to solutions he's seeking. And away from legislative affairs, let's take you to the United Arab Emirates. Nigerian startups have joined over 200 of their counterparts from more than 60 countries in participating at the 40th Gulf Information Technology Exhibition GITEX 2020 taking place in Dubai World Trade Center. Joseph Johnson tells us more.
Just like in 2019, a total of 10 Nigerian startups are participating in this year's GITEX, and they will be exploring networking opportunities with over 200 global innovators and accelerators. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami, who is leading Nigeria's delegation alongside the host, the Director General of NITDA, Kashifu Inua, are expecting that the long week technology event will foster fresh conversations around ICT sector, which has exponentially contributed to the nation's GDP.
We are not here to participate just to see what has been taking place, but rather to ensure that we get more investors that are willing to invest in Nigeria, and secondly, to get technology transfer.
This is an opportunity for us to showcase our talented startups and also to learn from other countries what are they doing to prepare themselves for the post-COVID era. 2020
has unarguably been a year of unprecedented times as a result of coronavirus pandemic. But despite the fact, the 40th anniversary of GITEX is the only major live in-person technology event of the year. From observations, there is strict compliance with COVID-19 safety protocols, to the teeth, many say, which has given participants a sense of confidence to be here and partake in several outlined activities. Deep tech areas that have been cocooned will now birth the next decade technology. with hopes that Nigerian startups will be on the list of such innovators. From the World Trade Center in Dubai, Joseph Johnson, NTN News.
Thanks, Joseph. Back home, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, wants a better partnership between the academic community and government to create wealth and drive the much-desired economic development in the country. The minister raised this matter in his lecture titled University Education, Entrepreneurship and Employment Prospects, Survival Imperatives and Post-COVID-19 Era at a convocation in Ilori. Kende Omolosho has more to tell us.
The ongoing multi-billion-dollar investments in infrastructure development, such as railways, airports expansion, and road construction, covering about 13,000 kilometers across Nigeria, the minister says, provided business opportunities to young Nigerians who could think outside the box. Instead of searching endlessly for limited white-collar jobs, graduates are challenged to leverage on these and other federal government's business support programs to become employers of labor and contribute to national development.
It's moving to an expansion of infrastructure, creation of infrastructure, repair, maintain of infrastructure. So it's going to need manpower in those areas. It's going to need more quarry, more bitumen, more asphalt, more engineering consultants for design, for supervision.
Nigerian universities are, however, encouraged to streamline their curriculum to align with government policies aimed at promoting MSMEs. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Towards supporting the federal government's move to address housing deficit in the country, Kano state government, we hear, has allocated land for the construction of 5,000 housing units in the commercial city. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje stated this while receiving a delegation from the Federal Housing Authority at the Kano Government House. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
The visit to Kano by the Federal Housing Authority's delegation is to assess the state of the Federal Housing Estate Charada established more than 3 decades ago. Issues of illegal occupation of houses, wrongful acquisition of lands and development of corner shops were what the team led by Executive Director Business Development Abdul Mumini Jibril Kofa came to address. This is to pave way for the rejuvenation of the estate through the provision of services such as road network, street lights and standard drainage system.
We want to convert the estate to a model estate where everybody who is living here will be proud of the estate.
The move, while at the Government House, the Executive Director disclosed, is coming while preparations are on to construct a 5,000-unit housing estate, which is part of federal government strategies to address housing deficit in many parts of the country. Governor Ganduje, who announced the allocation of a mass land for the housing project, assured of continued support towards successful execution of federal government programs and projects in the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Trading activities under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement will begin from January 1st, 2021. Well, the decision was adopted at the virtual 13th Extraordinary Summit of the AU Heads of State and Government on ACFTA. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
The African Continental Free Trade Agreement among 54 of the 55 African Union nations that made up the AU aims at creating an African market of 1.27 billion consumers with a cumulative GDP of about $3.4 trillion. The trade area is said to be the largest in the world in terms of the number of participating countries since the formation of the World Trade Organization. Chairperson of the African Union, who is also the South African President, Cyril Ramaphosa, during the summit said the African Continental Free Trade Area signaled a new era of progress for the continent.
The commencement of trading under the AFCFTA on the 1st of January 2021 is one of the most significant milestones in the continental integration project. In the context of global developments on trade, including threats to multilateral system, the treaty is more critical than ever.
He also appealed for greater trade opportunities for women in the process and elimination of non-tariff trade barriers among member states. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented at the meeting by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyama, described the feat as a collective dream of past and present leaders on the continent who desire to build Africa with shared prosperity in peace and development of the citizens. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
All right, let's go on a break. We're back shortly, so you stay tuned.
A scorecard like no other. Government has put in place measures and initiatives principally targeted at youths, women, and the most vulnerable groups in our society. These included a broad plan to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 10 years. The creation of 75 billion Naira National Youth Investment Fund to provide opportunities for the youths, and the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Survivor Fund, through which government is A. Paying 3-month salaries of the staff of 100,000 micro, small and medium enterprises. B. Paying for the registration of 250,000 businesses at the Corporate Affairs Commission. C. Giving a grant of 30,000 Naira to 100,000 artisans and guaranteeing market for the product of traders. These are in addition to many other initiatives such as farmer money, trader money, market money, N-Power, N-Tech, and N-Agro. These and more. The ultimate place. Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency. Dialogue, empathy, love, and unity. These are vital components of nation building.
For all to be well, we appeal that we should refrain from volatile, provocative.
For a comprehensive overhaul of the aviation industry in the country, it says the idea is to position the country as an air transportation hub within the West and Central Africa sub-region. The minister confirms that the roadmap, which includes the establishment of a national carrier, maintenance, repair and overhaul facilities, concession of some airports, and establishment of an aviation leasing company, are expected to lay solid and lasting foundation for aviation development in Nigeria. Emmanuel Ayemiru, NTA News.
And in line with the International Civil Aviation Day, let's join Michael in Lagos for more insight on the day. Michael?
Four billion passengers globally depend. We're sorry for that report stopping abruptly. As against insinuation that NSAS protesters have converged on the Lekki toll gate in Lagos to stage another round of protest, there are no indication of gathering of any group of people except free flow of traffic being enjoyed by motorists along the axis.
A dramatic role in providing the stage and structures for the birth of the civil service. She notes that a concerted effort is needed to surmount the various challenges confronting the nation.
A modern Nigerian civil service must remain strategically positioned to develop and drive reforms that will have transformational impact on all sectors of the nation's economy.
The Lagos State Head of Service, Hakeem Muri-Okunla,
explained that public servants will not shy away from their duty to revisit identified areas of rules, regulations, including the schemes of service where necessary.
The task before us today, therefore, is that of midwifing the requirement improvement in the civil service.
To add value towards making the service more relevant and effective in addressing the current and future security challenges in the country.
At the inauguration of the two newly renovated block of 36 flats, the need for benefiting officers to make the Air Force more effective was reiterated.
The personnel are grateful for all the efforts you make to constantly ensure their comfort and earnestly celebrate all your great achievements. As such, they have pledged to continue to strive to ensure that the Nigerian Air Force lives up to its constitutional roles.
The welfare package will be extended to other units under the Nigerian Air Force. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
We have more stories with Ruth in Abuja.
Now, commitment to democratic rule is the guiding principle, as more than 17 million Ghanaian.
The agents of the parties are all here, so for us it's moving well. It's in the Ghana tradition of a smooth voting process.
Ghana Electoral Commission promises to release the results of this election in 24 hours, but a candidate must poll more than 50% of the total vote cast to emerge winner and avoid a runoff election. In Accra, Ghana, Musbah and Wahab, NC News.
Thank you, Musbahu. Back home on trade, the 12th National Council on Industry, Trade and Investment is facilitating the creation of more than 19 million jobs in priority sectors of agriculture, transportation, construction and services by 2024. Benny Adams reports that it is a proposal by the Industrial Training Fund and part of deliberations at the meeting presided over by the Permanent Secretary
of the port clearance permit certificates, among other issues to do with resuscitation of vocational training centers and creating a culture of skill development in the nation's education system. And above all, appraise modalities being put in place to create 19 million jobs by 2040. From the NAV Conference Center here in Abuja, I am Benny Adams.
In Yobe State, the State Coordinating Office of the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises has conducted an outdoor sensitization campaign by meeting targeted beneficiaries at their business premises to encourage them register and access the federal government survival fund at no cost. Adam Yusuf Ali reports.
The federal government survival fund intervention was created to support vulnerable micro, small and medium enterprises to the right people. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf Ali, NTA News.
And from Yobe, let's head to Ibadan to join Kemi for some other reports. Kemi.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has challenged broadcast practitioners in the country to take the lead in telling the Nigerian story in order to guide against distortion of facts by a section of foreign media. The minister gave a charge at the inauguration of Ogoilu 89.3 FM station on the stables of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria in Oko, Oyo State. Anthony Fossen completes the story.
Calling on the nation's broadcasters to take the lead in telling the Nigerian story, especially by informing the people about the various programs and policies. Information is power and less effective without the means to transmit it in order to counter fake news and hate speech.
What we are commissioning today will hopefully remove our people from the circle of lack of proper information-based ignorance to a new dawn of well-informed society.
Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Mansour Liman, expressed gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for his continued support for the growth of the FRCN.
We, the management of FRCN, can only say a big thank you for everything that you have done and continue to do to make sure that FRCN gets the right funding within the limited resources of the government to be able to discharge our responsibility of providing information, educating people, and also entertaining the larger population.
Religious and traditional rulers who graced the occasion
For more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. The conversion of vehicles in Nigeria from being powered by petrol to auto gas will be done to meet international standard. Director General National Automotive Design and Development Council Jelani Aliyu gave this assurance on NTS Good Morning Nigeria with advocacy for more sensitization of Nigerians to embrace auto gas as a cleaner and safer fuel.
Here in Nigeria, auto gas, which has been in use in other climes, is proven to be cheaper and safe.
Knowledge transfer on the train-the-trainer scheme is the most important. Conversion of engines to run on gas is key and very complex, whereby only the professionals can do the modification on those engines to run on either CNG or LPG.
While the possibility of teaching challenges cannot be ruled out, the guests insist on the use of professionals for efficient
cosmetics and shoemaking. It is also used as a binder in stamps, envelopes, and cigarette wraps. The global demand of the produce is put at 90,000 to 100,000 metric tons per annum. Nigeria was the largest producer in Africa, producing more than 20,000 metric tons, but lost to Sudan as the production dropped to about 5,000 metric tons annually.
Between 2004 and 2014, Nigeria was earning, on the average, $92 million from the export of gum arabic. But now, from 2014 to now, Nigeria is now earning $3 million.
Some police officers under the Delta State Police Command have been honored for their gallantry and commitment to duty. It is part of the campaign to redefine the system and boost the morals of officers and men. Austin Edemodu reports that the awards were presented at the security meeting in Asaba, which had in attendance the State Deputy Governor, Kingsley Otaro, and the Assistant Inspector General of Police Zone 5, Shola David.
In the aftermath of the NSAS protest, the police is beginning to fine-tune its strategies for optimum performance. Part of the efforts is this security meeting of divisional police officers in Delta State with top hierarchy of the police command, including the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Shola David.
The morale has already been boosted. If you go around town, on my way down here from Benin, I could see our men are back on the roads.
State in 2018, 2019, and from January to October 2020 revealed that out of the 72 crashes recorded from to October 2020, only 19 dead occurred throughout the state, as against 32 in 2019 and 31 deaths in 2018. The reduction, Zonal Commander FRSC overseeing Ekiti, Kogi and Kwara State, Victor Mbokolo, said will be sustained in line with the Corps Commandant's commitment to reduce road traffic crashes by 15% and fatality rates by 20%.
There's even need for us to work harder to ensure that we don't pass, we'll get it lower than, it's still lower than 2019 and 2018 on, but to make sure that we'll bring it down, drastically.
Ekiti State Sector Commander Fumilayo Akinladi and the Deputy Speaker Ekiti State House of Assembly Akim Jamiu emphasized that road safety is the responsibility of every law-abiding citizens.
Using seatbelt while driving.
We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk. App for iOS or Android, Intelsat 901 degree east. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Life can be very eventful. We curiously expect things to happen, even when we don't know what. Our human nature makes us like and repost lots of information. Some are unverified, inciting anger and hate. Sometimes
encounter against Ghana at WAFU Zone B tournament. I'm talking sport updates, and Badia Delaya will bring us the details.